And in the allowing of the other person to be themselves, we then start to create a relationship that's based on truth. It's based in harmony. It's based in balance, because we're being ourselves and we're allowing the other person to be themselves. And we're not trying to make anything different. We're not trying to shift anything. We're just in a state of allowance, which is almost a state of acceptance for who the other is and who we are. And out of that, there then is, I feel like I'm going through everything really fast at the moment. Out of that, there is a dynamic that gets created, which we then call the third, or the third space, or the dynamic, the kind of relationship itself then is an entity in itself. And it's from that we have this extraordinary creative space that then arises between us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in those cases where someone else behave in a certain way that we disagree with or trigger us, does it always mean this is something that reflects something within us, like something similar, or it can be something different?
No, it can actually be something different. And this is where that key of actually being with ourselves, with all those aspects of ourselves, that it's much, much easier to recognize what is ours and what is not. And that's really, really key to kind of relationship with another person. And even a relationship with something like finance. It's like if you're working with clients, it's really key when working with clients as well, that you have such a deep relationship with yourself and a deep understanding of yourself that then becomes, there's this natural ability that starts to arise that enables you to recognize when something is actually a trigger, when someone is reflecting something back to you that is really about you, or when it's more about the other individual. And when it's about the other individual, one of the keys is to let go. And I don't mean the guides don't mean let go the individual. They mean let go of what is not yours. Yeah, allow the individual to have their own process around it and to find their own keys and codes and their own way through it, because it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you, so you don't take it. It's, you just allow yourself to truly own your own what's yours. And that is a real skill. And I think that's a skill that evolves, and it's a skill that constantly is evolving. And it can be easier for some individuals than others, just naturally easier, depending on kind of how you're designed as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, as you were talking about that, I thought about our relationship with the collective as well, because you mentioned discerning what is ours and what is not. And many times I just feel sometimes like some kind of urgency to do something I'm not doing enough, or maybe some kind of fear. But when I take time to look within and know what it is, it can be something that I'm picking up from the collective because of something that it happened in the world or some kind of event. So how do we relate to the collective as well?
Yeah, that's a really good kind of conversation is, what is ours and what might be the collective. And again, I think there's levels of sensitivity around that. Some individuals are much more affected by the collective unconscious or the collective consciousness of what's happening in the collective than other individuals. So if you do feel that you have a lot of, how do you say, if you feel like you're feeling a lot, or even have a tendency to feel like you get emotional, like your emotions kind of do this a lot, it is quite possible that you're tuning into the collective. And I think you have a really good key point, Monsef, is to take the time and space to deepen into what is this really about? Is this coming from me?